You're watching The Whole Living Show on Trajectory TV.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of The Whole Living Show. We are so glad that you are here. So listen, as it is, usually they don't want us to share some truths that are out there, but I'm going to share it anyway. We don't have to show the video for me to share. So does everybody out there know that the United States has now approved lab-grown meat for the sale to restaurants? I don't know what you think about this, but I don't like this at all. So now they are taking cells from animals and they are putting them in these incubators and they're growing or formulating, I should say, meat that looks like chicken breasts, right? Skinless, boneless chicken breast that's grown in a lab is now approved in this country for sale. So listen, instead of us responsibly raising chickens and allowing them to be free range and graze and eat the good things that chickens are supposed to eat so that we can get good meat for those who like eating meat. Instead, they're growing in a lab. And I'm sure this has a lot to do with demand, but at the same time, they're formulating our food in labs. And listen, this is not the first thing that's been formulated in a lab. Anything that you buy in a package, a box, a can, there's something that is unnatural about it. Unless you read some of the ingredients, some brands are responsible, but not all. So you have to make sure that you are reading your labels. But here we go. We have something else that's being grown. And I know that people probably are tired of me talking about this, but I can remember going to a certain place many, many years ago and seeing these large, fruit and vegetables and thinking that there's absolutely something wrong with this, that we are trying to increase the size of our food, that we're filling things with hormones and antibiotics and just to increase it to meet the demand instead of focusing on educating people on how to live better and eat natural and eat food that comes right from the ground, that's grown from good soil, that gives you great nutrients, that is responsibly raised. And instead, we're making these things in a lab. They're biochemicals and GMO, and there's a lot of biohacking happening. So listen, I don't know if they're going to tell us now that the meat is raised in the lab. They mentioned in the video that I watched that there would be a category that says lab grown meat. so that we will know what we're purchasing. So in the event that you choose to buy organic, casein free, non hormones, all that good stuff, or if you choose to buy the lab grown, hopefully they will be labeled properly. But I don't know if I trust that completely. So I'm just going to put it out there because here on the Whole Living Show, we tell the truth. And I want everybody to know, what's happening to the things that we are consuming that are supposed to be good for our bodies so that we can live better lives. So just wanted to put that out there, everybody. So that's what we're starting with today. But as always, yes, are you going to eat the lab grown meat? I am not, especially if they're labeling it and they're telling us what it is. No, thank you. And I hope that that's what they do. But do your homework, do your research. Anything that you hear me talk about here, go out there, look for it for yourself. You want to make sure that you're being responsible too, and do your research and understand what you're consuming. All right. And I think we're going to do another show on how to read labels too, because it's so important to understand what's in your food and what it all means. And sometimes we get overwhelmed by those large names. And some of those large names actually are derived from plants. Right. So you want to know what you're eating. So I think we're going to get into that one day because I want you to know the difference between the color dyes and the hormones versus, what's actually derived from something that actually grows from the ground. All right. So that's it, everybody. But we have an amazing guest backstage, as always. I met this beautiful woman inside the Women into Networking community on Clubhouse, which I absolutely love. She's amazing and she is a dedicated entrepreneur. Her name is TeeCee Okore, and she is an award-winning business operations consultant with over 8 years of experience specializing in systems, funnels, and automation with a passion for working with entrepreneurs to create consistent income. I know you guys want that, right? With little or no effort. As a business launch and sales funnel strategist, TeeCee helps Black entrepreneurs launch and scale profitable, sustainable businesses to build the lifestyle that they deserve and desire while keeping their mental health intact. And we're going to get into that because I love that she has that on the end, while keeping their mental health intact, because it takes a lot to be an entrepreneur. So we're going to talk about that, her journey through it all. But I want you to give TeeCee a virtual round of applause, and we're going to bring her in. Woohoo! Hello, hello, TeeCee. And I forgot to mention that TeeCee is across the pond. So everybody give her some extra love because she is here. It is late at night where she is in the United Kingdom. So we just thank her for being so dedicated and being here and coming on to share all the wealth and knowledge that she has, and to help all of you entrepreneurs out there who are looking to take your business to the next level. She's got some solutions for you. So thank you, TeeCee. And I think there we go. You sound very low.
Okay, can you hear me?
There you go. There you go. Now
All
I
right.
can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Yeah, that's beautiful. Like I'm just here blushing.
Absolutely, absolutely. So listen, I've heard you speak in on Clubhouse and talk about the things that you do for people, but I want to start at the end of your bio because I think that's a super important piece so that people don't get overwhelmed. And I know that's where you come in to help them build the systems and the automation that they need. But talk about that mental health part and why you decided that you were going to help entrepreneurs keep their mental health intact while they are building.
Um, Me,
Mhm.
right? I always say this, that I am my first client, my first customer. It would sound easy, obviously, as an ex project manager, in the corporate world, and you're like, yeah, super easy. You can just, get this done. But entrepreneurship is a different game on its own, right? And
Mhm.
I dived in obviously with all of my qualifications, all of the experience, and I'm like, yeah, we're good and all of that. But then over the years, I just realized that you're making money, but you're spending this money indirectly on keeping yourself sane, on staying healthy, on the things that are really very important to you. how about you leverage the wealth, the revenue, the income that you get for
Mhm.
your own good. Like live your best life, not always finding yourself maybe okay, not always finding yourself maybe in the hospital, or you want to treat this, or you're having this pain, or you're in and out,
Mhm.
right? Because the truth is, for you to be able to show up confidently, even for your customers, for your clients, you need to keep your mental state needs to be in check,
Yeah.
right? Because if you can't show up for yourself, then it becomes almost impossible to show up for others. Like,
Yeah.
the part where we always say you cannot pour from an empty cup. That's really what it is.
Mhm.
And so for me, building these systems, and that's why, when I get a client, right, I always say this, that I am working with you to build a system that speaks you, that works for you, that's unique to you, your business model, right?
Mhm.
A system that is not going to keep you, feeling like it's so much work doing what you love to do. No,
Mhm.
you don't want to be in that kind of space.
Yeah.
And that's why I build systems, right? And that's my intention, because that's basically what I thought of when I first built my first system, right? When I
Mhm.
was able to design my system, when I was able to automate the back end of my business, because this was the life that I wanted for myself, right? I wanted a scenario where I am present for the kids. I stay top of mind in the lives of my in the minds of my clients, in the
Mhm.
minds of my audience. I am looking good, right? And I can still be me. And
Yeah.
so, right, we can have it all. As women, we can have it all. But sometimes we feel like we have to compromise, or we have to pick one for one. But no, right? And that's where your system, those automated funnels, the back end of your business being streamlined, show up for you, right?
Yeah, I love that. There's so many synergies with what we do because I love that that's where you kind of start, and that's the overarching mission behind you helping entrepreneurs. And I feel the same way doing health coaching. Like I always tell women, it doesn't have to look like anybody else. It has to work for you. So however it works for your schedule, that's what's more important, so that you can actually sustain a healthy lifestyle. So I love that you bring that mental health piece in there, because most people, they love what they're passionate about and what their purpose is, right? And that's what drives them. But there's all the other things that need to happen in the background that drive people crazy, right? Like putting the funnels together, doing the books and records, having the systems, sending out the emails. All those things are the things that drive people crazy, right? Because they want to get to, whatever it is. Like your passion is helping the entrepreneurs with all of that, but other people, they may have, a fitness business, or they're doing an accounting business. They just want to do that work and not have to do the behind the scenes. But you
You
need
you Yeah,
yeah.
you'll be so amazed as to what actually goes behind the scene of all of these beautifully shown businesses and
Mhm,
experts that you see out there. Like
mhm,
literally, you'll be so amazed as to what goes in, right?
mhm.
And so yeah, I totally agree with you.
So talk to us about, the type of clientele that you're getting, or the people that come to you to say, like, I need help. Like, where does it start? How do people start that conversation with you?
Typically, right, I have two categories of people that reach out to me,
Mhm,
right? So I have this set of individuals, right? So I call them the solopreneurs, because they are they love what they do, they're passionate, they have these ideas, they have these skills, they have this knowledge,
mhm,
but they're literally between that 1 to 3 years in their business. And so they find themselves doing things alone, right? And you see, I always say this, some people would say, oh, TC, it's just me in my business. Do I really need either a system or a funnel, or do I need automation? I'm like, if there's anybody that needs it, it's you,
yeah.
because you're the only one in your business,
Yeah.
right? And so you want to stay top of mind, right? You want to be able to get the revenue, the ROI without, losing your mind over your business,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's basically where that comes into place, right? And so I would say typically solopreneurs, right, looking to building that consistency in
Mm-hmm.
their business, right? The consistency in their income, and also they want to scale. Trust me, you can't scale on your own.
Yeah.
Now, even if you have like a lean team, when I mean a lean team, like you're contracting things out, or you work like with a VA, or all of that nature, right? That you want that solid help, that solid
Mhm.
support that would keep your business running even without you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're the beginning and the end of your business.
Yeah.
But the truth is your business needs to stand the test of time even when you're not there.
Yeah.
You want to go on vacations, right? You
Yeah.
want to you want to go for that child, your kids, play dates. You want to catch up on their soccer game. You want to do this, you want to do that, those swimming lessons. My
Mm-hmm.
kids have been, we've been going back and forth with all of those swimming lessons. Like, today we're going, next week we're not going, tomorrow they're crying, the next week they're happy. But
I've
I
been
just
there.
I just I just remember that now when I talked about swimming lessons, and I'm like, yeah, those lessons we have to complete. So
Yeah.
my point is, you want to show up for the people that love you and the people that you love.
Mm-hmm.
You want to connect, you want to meet people, you want to collaborate, you want to do all of these nice things that you know being an entrepreneur gives you opportunity to. Now
Yeah.
that's where you having those systems, automated funnels, your back end, leveraging the right workflow automation comes into place.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you start with the solopreneur. I was looking at a video from JT Official the other day, and he had he had a businessman on there who sold, I think he sold 52 businesses already. But his comment was, if you can run it small, you can run it big. So I love that you start with the solopreneur to get them in place to run it small so that when they're ready to scale, it's easier to run it big, right? So you just put me in the mind of that video that I heard. So talk to us about, what that solopreneur who's coming to you can expect. And I know this is a generalization, right? Because I know you have to assess what they're doing, but just talk to us a little bit about what they can expect.
So this is the way I work, right? Typically, I am of this mindset that even as entrepreneurs, we're different individuals. And because we're individuals, our businesses are unique. And because our businesses are unique, right, the stage that we find ourselves in are basically unique. And so my goal is to meet you where you are. Now, depending on what stage you're in your journey as an entrepreneur or as a business owner, right? We
Mhm.
could start with the training, right? Because sometimes it can be a handful, especially when you don't even know what you need in your business. There's so many solopreneurs that like they're all over the place. They don't even know what they need. Now that's where my training and consulting comes into place because I want you to know what is applicable, what you need, and then I'm able to work with you to get it done. So I'm more execution, implementation, take action kind of person. So
Mhm.
um I would normally would get it done for you, but over the years I've realized that sometimes it's not good to give people like you want to show them, right? So even if yes, fine, I'm not saying do it because I'm going to get it done for you. However, I want you to know what your business like the I want you to know how powerful your business is. I want you to know how powerful the structure that we've put in place or we're going to put in place for your business is going to be because I have realized that over time the
Mhm.
more knowledgeable business owners are about their own business, the more confidence they are to market and sell their offering,
Yeah.
right? So I come in two ways. I either start with, training you and then we go into the execution, right?
Mhm.
Because I go from the strategy, train you, and then we execute what the plan is.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're like, you know what, TC, I've got this, but I just need help in doing it for me so that I'm able to focus on my zone of genius. I'm like, yeah, right. I love you, right? These are the kind of people I love, right? Because like take action, and
Yeah.
then we can just go on with implementing what your business needs to thrive.
hmm And I love that you said that too, to train people to understand. Because a lot of times people will, buy into, a coach or a system and have somebody do it for them. But then when it comes time to look into, an issue, something that comes up, something that arises, they don't understand how to do it, then they have to go back to that person. So it's better to understand. Now, I've been an accountant for many, many years. And what I recognize too about people with their businesses, they don't understand their numbers, right? And you need to know your numbers. So I love that you're saying that you need to understand your systems too and how they operate and how they're affecting your business. So I love that you take that approach where you're like, I'm going to train you to at least understand it. You don't have to do it yourself, but you need to understand it, right? So I love that you do that. So listen, everybody, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but I don't want you to go anywhere because as you can see, TC has a lot to share. You saw across the screen, she's an optimizer. So you want to make sure that you stay tuned to hear what's coming next from her so that you can get your business in order. All right, we're going to take this quick break and we'll be right back. All right. And we are back. We're here with TeeCee Okore. And did I pronounce your last name correctly? Because I want to make sure I get it right. Okay. And you're on mute.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So listen, if you missed the first half, you want to make sure that you go back and watch this because TC is already giving you some amazing tips and sharing how she helps entrepreneurs. So I want to go into because you talked about the solopreneur and that type of entrepreneur that you help. But I want to go into, I know you said there's two categories. So I want to talk about what's the other category and how you're helping those business owners.
Okay, so the truth is, different businesses are, they have like their stages.
Mhm.
And the other audience that I work with are basically, mid-sized, pretty large businesses that have like agencies, um, consulting firms, organizations, and I work with them as either their factional marketing officer, I could, or as a project manager, right? So two ways, right? I either get hired as a marketing project manager, basically where I am supervising and taking charge of, their teams and all of that. So that's what I do because then they need help in, the strategy and also getting their team, doing what they need to do. So yes, those are like the different, yeah,
Yeah,
set of
yeah.
people that I work with.
Yeah. So talk to us about that relationship, right? Because that's a little bit different going into corporate and saying, okay, let me take a certain area where you really need some help and you need to streamline things. Talk a little bit about what that looks like for a corporation when you're working with them.
Okay, so as so I come in more not as an employee,
Hmm
right? I come in as a contractor, right? And so I come in, take charge of their marketing team, their marketing and the sales team, plan out, the strategy. So depending on what they have going on. So usually it's most times for launch purposes. So the recent client that I had, they're basically working on a new product launch, and so they needed a marketing project manager to come in, take over the project, take over the launch, help with taking control of the team. So I do like the hiring. Obviously, with my years of experience, I'm able to, because I love to hire for attitude and not basically for skill, because I can teach you the skill. Like literally, once I'm done teaching you, you're like, you you might actually start a business, right? Once I'm done. But then I can't. I still don't. I can't teach you how to have the right work attitude,
Right.
right? So yeah, I've not been able to crack that. And I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm able to do that.
And you
So
know
yeah,
what? That sounds like a class in and of itself, TC, right? Like that may be some extra part of your business, right? And helping companies to hire the right people because that's so
yeah,
key. Yeah.
yeah, that's I think that's actually very important. And so that's one of the things. So I help with hiring the right marketing expert, help with organizing the team, help with planning the launch plan, the strategy, kind of spearhead the entire launch, the
Mhm.
marketing, the campaigns, just making sure that everything works out perfect and they're able to get returns on their investment, as an organization. So I work with agencies, um, big time consulting firms, non-profits, communities. So there are a couple of women communities now
Mhm.
that need either trainers that need help, and they're like, what, I have there's hundreds of women looking to start their business. I need somebody that can come and teach them one or two things about sales and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, I
Yeah.
definitely in that space.
That's amazing. So talk to us about your sweet sauce. Like what is your special sauce in all of this? Because it's that you do a lot, right? To help either the solopreneurs or the corporations. So what's the sweet spot here?
Okay, so I think the sweet spot is the fact that I enjoy what I do, and while I work, so I am this one person that gets bored easily,
Mhm.
right? And so that's why, to somebody else, it might feel like TC does a whole lot. But for me, it's fun
Mhm.
because then I'm able to switch, navigate, be in a different role, but still doing the same thing. And
Mhm.
it's fun for me. It gives me the sense of, fulfillment because I'm able to touch on, press the magnet. I'm able to touch lives, transform people's lives, because when I transform your business, right, I transform your life. I transform the way you feel about yourself, the
Mhm.
way you show up for yourself, because then you're much more confident, right, about who you are, even as an individual. So it goes way beyond, all of these things. Even as, corporate organizations, when I work with them, you see the difference because the team is motivated to work, right?
Mhm.
The CEOs are motivated to, focus on what they need to do, right? Which is network, collaborate, be in that space of, being a CEO. And
Yeah.
so, it's all about the transformation for me. And it gives me this spice,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it just, I don't know, maybe because of the fact that I see this transformation and it doesn't feel boring for me,
Mhm.
it makes me all.
Yeah, I love it. I can see you glowing already just thinking about it. But I love that. And listen, this is why this is called the whole living show, right? Because there's so many different aspects of people's lives that affect their overall health. So I love that we started out with that mental health piece, but I also love that you just went into like really why this it sounds like this is your why, like why you're doing this because you're helping to transform people's lives. It's not just their businesses, it's their life overall. And that's what it's all about. I think sometimes people think their personal life and their business is separate, and it's not. They all need to mesh together. So I love that you're helping people organize in that way so they could think about how can you help them make life better from every perspective. So I absolutely love that, TC. So talk to us a little bit more about, I know that you said that you have some training programs that are available for people. So talk to us about what you have available that can, help people right away. Because I know you mentioned one that's pretty, automated for people to get started.
Well, I have a couple of them. However,
Mm-hmm.
one that would give you like, immediate results is the email marketing automation, because I feel, right, so many people, especially business owners, do not understand that you can be on social media,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can be everywhere. But if you don't have that asset, your own gold mine, right? Anything can happen. And you see, when you think about sustainability, you want to think about ways you can get your business standing the test of time. And that's where your email list comes into place, because you can carry your email list wherever you want to go to. Like literally take it from one space to another. That's your business. That's your
Mm-hmm.
business asset. But you can't carry your followers. You can't, you so many things you can't do, especially when it's your business. And remember, because you have these contact informations of these amazing people, they want to be in your space. Now it's easier for you to convert them into repeat paying customers because you're intentional with building that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, entrepreneurship is really all about those profitable relationships, and that's where email marketing comes into play. So the training course is very, I feel like it's what every entrepreneur need. Like, even if, right, you have
Mm-hmm.
all of the team in the world, you need it, because you also want to figure out how best to transform the results that you get from your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this particular training comes with, obviously the training itself. Then you have workbooks that would the workbooks, you have the cheat sheet, the checklist, the guide. It's all encompassing, in the program, just so that you're able to, as much as possible, right, get all of the insights about building your email list.
Mm-hmm.
Also go through a 5-day challenge, right? So ensuring that you're setting up your email campaign the right way. And most importantly, you're able to figure out, how best to set up your email marketing automation. Because trust me, if you're still sending those emails manually, one at a time,
No way. No way. I can remember not that long ago when Facebook was down. Do you remember that? It wasn't that long ago. And everybody was up in arms because they're like, I can't function in my business today because Facebook is down. And I can remember hearing another coach say exactly what you were saying. It's like, what did you do in your business? He's like, I went to my email list, right? And I started, and I sent out emails for that day when Facebook was down. People called 911. They sure did. They sure did. Everybody was up in arms because Facebook was down. So I love that you talk about that. And that's, I think what people think is an older way to do business, but still very necessary. And even, do you think that with your email list, because with your email list, you've probably met the person somewhere and got their email, or you had an ad out there where you've gotten their email. So they may be a little bit more warmed up to you than just social media, right? Like, do you think the email list is a little bit more important?
well, it's not a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
it's very, right, because
Mm-hmm.
with social media, you're speaking to every distracted person,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm looking at your post. I have the same post saying almost the same thing, and I have the same, as it's kind of very distracting,
Mm-hmm.
right? But for your email list, I have given you the consent to
Mm-hmm.
send me this information. Now,
Mm-hmm.
when your emails pop on my phone, my phone, my wherever it is, and I open it, it's just me and you,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I'm not scrolling. Like, even if I'm going to scroll, I'm scrolling to the beginning of the email. I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to scroll down. I'm scrolling to the end, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what the scrolling is. right? So it's me and you in that space. But
Yeah.
with social media, trust me, it's you and the world, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's one analogy that I can give it. So if you are thinking, you want that space where you're able to build this relationship, you're able to multiply your sales, and you're able to know that your business, right, is your business. Your business is not Instagram business. Your business is not Facebook business. Your business isn't LinkedIn business. Your business is your business. Then
Mhm.
you need to not only build an email list, but also know how to convert your email list into repeat paying customers.
Yes, 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 yes. So talk a little bit about that even because there's so many people that say different things about how often you should send the emails. It's very much like post, like how often you should post, how often you should send the emails, right? And what needs to be in the emails. Do you send a newsletter? Do you send tips and secrets? So talk to us about what those emails need to look like in order to attract your customer.
So, when it comes down to email marketing, right, you need a plan. You can't just go in there, right? You need a plan. And depending on what the goal is, because there are different reasons why you want to design or create an email marketing campaign,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, depending on what your goal is, you want to, as much as possible, stay focused to figuring out how you can connect with people with this email. So I'm going to give you an example.
Okay.
So take for instance, you have a course, right? You have a course and you want to push out a course, your service business, and you want to push out a course. Now, the people that get your course, right?
Mm-hmm.
The people that buy your course are in a different journey from people that have not even, maybe they just found you somewhere or they tapped into your lead magnets,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now that's different. Okay, now depend these two people are in different stages entirely, right?
Yeah.
And so that is the main reason why you want to create different email campaigns for them, and then you call it the email sequence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that it's you create a personalized, targeted communication flow for these different individuals. So I
Mm-hmm.
was giving an example for your online course, for example. And so I get your course, for example. You don't want to just leave me hanging,
Yeah.
right? You don't want to leave me hanging. What you want to do is work me, because remember, the reason why people get your course is you are working them into a certain goal in the future. They're not just going to buy the course just once and that's it. No,
Mm-hmm.
you want to work them into a certain purchasing journey. Now, for example, I buy your online course.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have so many questions. Now, don't wait for me to ask those questions. Now, this is where your email conversation comes into place. And this is what you have, which is what you call your email campaign or your
Mm-hmm.
email sequence, right? Now, the first email, for example, is to congratulate me, welcome me, make me feel at home. Hey, you've gotten the course, blah, blah, blah. This is what you need to expect, and blah, blah, blah. Then the
Mm-hmm.
next email, right? Because you're working me.
Yeah.
You're working me on the you're working, I'm working, you're guiding me through a certain journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it takes that step to that step, next to that step.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, the goal is not for me to just stop at the course. The goal is for me to get this value for you to finally get to upsell me to the coaching program, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe upsell me to the mastermind, or upsell me
Mm-hmm.
to something else, right? Because you see, with your email marketing, there is no end to selling. You keep selling, you keep selling, you keep marketing, you keep building those relationships, because that is basically what your email space is all about, right? So typically for targeted launches like that, you want to have at least between 7 to 8 emails. Those That's for like targeted you know launches. So, for
Yeah.
example, you have like that. So, if you have like your onboarding, for example, you want to onboard your client for a maybe your online course. It's just an example. You should have
Mm-hmm.
like between 6 to 8 emails, walking them through all of that. Now, do not give your clients any reason to worry. Do not give them, remember, it's an experience. You're giving them that experience. Answer their questions even way before they start to ask these questions,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? So this is basically what your email sequence, your email campaign, depending on your goal. I just talked about onboarding, right? I talked about building your list. I talked about, so those are like different goals, to helping you achieve your in quotes um future ROI, depending on what it is, right? So
Yeah.
yes.
So when you were describing it too, it made me feel like, like take my hand and go on this journey with me, right? So yeah, I love that. So then the thing is too, like when you talk about a little bit about the preemptive part of it, you know what I mean, as you're building those emails, like understanding what questions may arise, right? Because you said don't allow them to have the questions, right? You want to make sure that you're answering the questions through the sequence that you're taking them through. So it's almost like they're walking and talking with you, right?
Yeah.
So talk about how to even understand what you need to answer through that process.
Okay, so I talked about so many other things behind the scene that comes in, that literally gets you converted, right?
Mhm,
And if there's anything when it comes down to sales, and that's why I love, sales funnels and all of that, is the fact that you want to understand what your ideal client is thinking. You want
mhm,
to figure out who your ideal client is. You want to find out what their pain points are. You want to find out what their passion points are. You want to ask them questions. Some
mhm,
people would say, okay, if I'm just starting off, I don't have my own community. How about you leverage on other people's community?
mhm,
That's one smart way for any solopreneur to work.
mhm,
So when I speak to solopreneur, I'm not speaking to you, or I'm not telling you, do this because you have it. I'm saying leverage on what is available for you to build the business that you desire. All
mm,
you need to do is leverage on other people's audience, right? Collaborations, partnerships, all of these things, right? And before you know what's happening, you have your own community. Okay, so entrepreneurship is not an alone game, right? If you really want to go far, you want to go like with a right set of people pushing
yeah,
you, and those are the people you want to leverage on. Ask them these questions, find out, your target market, your target audience, find out from them, what would they like? Like literally, I ask, like, some people would say it's lame, but you see those lame questions are really the right questions, because that's how we think. As
yeah,
your ideal client, we have like, sometimes I feel like, how do I mix maybe rice and tomato paste to make a dish for a 2-year-old,
mhm,
right? Now, sometimes somebody or a typical expert will say, well, what's TeeCee talking about? Or maybe a nutritionist is like, what's she talking about? But you see, a business owner is taking advantage of my question, because when they want to give maybe build their content, set up those emails, create their products, all of those things, they speak my language. Because
mm,
my language is like the easiest form, and all I want is answers.
mhm,
Really, I don't care about all of the gibberish and all of the, big
mhm,
words. All I want is answers, right? So
yeah.
think the way your ideal client think by leveraging all of this platform. There's so many of them.
Yeah, and when you say that too, it's like take yourself out of your own expertise, right? Because oftentimes as we are studying, we're gaining experience in our businesses, in our passion, it's like we know, right? And I'll use health as an example because I'm a health coach, right? I look at the nutrition of things, right? But I have to understand that most people don't, right? And they want to know more about it. So take it back to the basics of when you started learning, right? The thing that you're now experienced in. I love that you said that. Oh my God. I can't believe it's 44 minutes after the hour already, TC, because you are giving so many gems here. You're going to have to come back because people need to know this. And I love how you break this down for people to really understand how to build their business. And this is like taking it back to the basics, but it's the things that you really need. Because I think we get caught up in just kind of the love of what we do, but I think we go far past our clients, right? And our clients need to know, like, just bring it back down here for me because I really need to know the skin of it, right? So I love the way you break this down. So I want to make sure that people can follow you, that people are getting in touch with you. So we want to give your information out there. You can say it and we'll put it on the board too, but I just want people to know how to contact you because listen, everybody out there, you need to get in touch with TeeCee if you need help in your business, if you are just starting out or you are looking to scale, if you want some automation in your business, either by yourself, if you're doing it by yourself, or you're starting to engage a team, but really saying, I don't know how to figure this out. TeeCee's got the solutions for you. So you want to make sure that you contact her. So how can everybody out there reach you?
So depending on what platform you're on,
Mhm,
I'm actually on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn,
mhm,
Facebook. But let's just cut it short.
mhm,
Right? You can follow me on Instagram, tc.obm, LinkedIn, TeeCee Okore.
mhm,
You definitely see my cute face, right?
mhm.
So yeah,
That's right.
LinkedIn, Instagram. I'm also on Facebook, TC, um, Twitter,
Mhm.
TC. Yeah.
Okay, so and you see this, right? So here, this is coming from a person who helps you with automation. She's on everything. So you need to be on everything too, so that people have a way to get in touch with you and there's no guessing, right? They can find you on every platform. So that's just a piece of information. She was giving her information, but sometimes you just have to learn based on what people are saying too. So I was paying attention. So you want to make sure that you reach out to TeeCee if you need help in your business because she's really got the solutions for you. And I want you all to remember that she's not only focused on just your automation, she's focused on helping you transform your life. So you know how people always say work smarter, not harder, right? TC's got that solution for you to help you work smarter, not harder, so that you can build your business, you can scale your business, you can have the right systems in place, you can automate so that you do not have to stress out in your life and you can get to your beautiful children. You can do the things that you love to do in your free time. You can take your vacations and not have to worry about your business running properly. She's got those solutions for you. So give us some last words, TC. Anything that you want, those solopreneurs or even those corporations to know about business.
So business is fun
Mhm,
when you understand um what your transformation is about, when you understand the solution that you have to offer, when you're able to understand that your gifts, your knowledge, your skill is not meant for you, right? It's
mhm,
meant for the world, it's meant for people. And so you would be doing so many people a disservice if you sleep on your skill, if you sleep on your offering, if you sleep on what you're good at, because God didn't give you that for you to keep it to yourself.
mhm,
He gave you all of those ideas, all of those knowledge, all of those, yummy skills so that you're able to help people. So you'll be the solution that people desire. Yes, and for corporate organizations, right? If you are building your team and you're saying to yourself, I think I'm gonna handle all of these things, you want to think about, right? You. You want to think about the fact that there is so much you're called to do than just sit on your seat and micromanage.
mhm,
No, right? There's so much more in store for you. But if you keep depriving yourself by micromanaging and doing all of these things you're not supposed to do, you are doing yourself a disservice. And yes, you're also limiting your own growth. So don't be the reason why you're not growing.
mhm.
Okay? That's it.
I love it. I couldn't have said it better myself. So you heard it here, everybody. Make sure that you contact TC because you, I'm sure, are in need of what she has to offer so that you can run your business more effectively and live your life with some sheer happiness and joy because your business is running as you need it to. So I thank you, TC, for being here. This was amazing. This was absolutely amazing. And I love everything that you do. I love you even more. I did already from hearing you and meeting you in Clubhouse and in the Wink community, but just to be able to have this chat with you, solo, one on one, even more. Love it. love what you're doing and why you're doing it, and the joy that you get from it, because you can see it all over you. So if you want, stay backstage, but I know it's late in the UK. All right. So everybody out there, again, make sure that you tune in to TeeCee. All right. She has what you need in your business. So make sure that you tune in. So listen, everybody, we have been talking about the sound of freedom, and you see that QR code up there. And yep, I'm going to continue to wrap up my shows with this. I want to talk about a video that I saw earlier. There was a video out there, a young woman who tells the truth. She's just like me. She's on social media, but she likes to bring the truth out to people, or, talk about what's happening in the world. So she actually brought up an issue about the sound of freedom and thinking that it is something that they're using to try to divert our attention from something else. Now, listen, as things go, this very well may be. However, what we do know about what is being shared in the sound of freedom is that human trafficking is a real issue around the globe, not just in the United States, but around the world. So we are still going to bring awareness to this issue, regardless of what the intentions are behind the movie. If they're trying to divert attention, fine. But what we want to do is make sure that we are protecting our children and the people who are being snatched from their own environments to go be slaves or to do organ donations or for sex trafficking. So I still want to put light to this movie to raise awareness, because we have a responsibility to our children and the people in our communities to ensure that we are protecting people. And the best way to do that, I believe, is to stay aware and to stay alert, not in fear, but to just pay attention, right? If you see something, you say something. If you notice that there's issues, report it, call the police. I'm not saying put your own self in danger or your family in danger, but, doing nothing is what's going to continue to allow these things to happen. And we as a community, the cops cannot handle everything, no matter how good or bad we think the police are, even the good ones, they cannot handle everything. We as a community need to stay aware. We need to make sure that we are protecting our families and the community members around us. So this is why I'm continuing to bring light to this situation. So you can donate to Operation Underground Railroad to help rescue the kids that are in need out there who are being snatched from their environments, or you can buy movie tickets and you can go see the movie, and it's going towards that as well. So I just wanted to mention that again, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed the show tonight. I know that I got so many wonderful tips from TeeCee Okore, and love that she's here, and grateful that she stayed up late to come on the show, because she's out in the UK, out in London. So we thank you, TeeCee, once again for being here. Everybody, make sure that you tune in next week. So it has been an ongoing series for this month, but the women into networking have been coming on here and showing up. They are badass. Yep, I said it on television. Badass women leader entrepreneurs who are sharing their secret sauce and what they do and how they are impacting the world. So it is no different. So we have the wonderful leader and founder of Women into Networking coming on next week. Her name is Allegra Jackson. And she's got some goodness for your business as well to help you start to plan out your business. So we're going to be talking to her next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Make sure that you tune in. You do not want to miss it. Everybody that comes on this show has so much goodness to share, and they're absolutely amazing people, and she is no exception to that. So tune in next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Facebook, YouTube, or the E360 TV network. We thank you, and we will see you next week.